Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now today's video is very fun and exciting for me. If you've been watching my channel at this point, I've kind of been stuck in wilderness mode for a while. Backpacking trips and different outdoor excursions, things like that, and including all the gear that has really kept my hobby for backpacking and camping and hiking going over the past few months. But now we're settling down into late fall and into winter, and it's a great time for me to take a step back and get back to some of the things that I greatly enjoy. Now, not that I didn't enjoy hiking, that's not what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is I do like to get down and dirty with some EDC. So what sparked this video was kind of a little bit of a change in my life. I've been working for a company for a while and I'm kind of going in a different direction now, so I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to change up my EDC. And even at that, I've been carrying a shoulder bag for a while, and I felt as though with winter coming on and kind of snowy and slushy conditions, the fact that sometimes you go out in the morning and it's really cold, afternoon, maybe it warms up, you never really know exactly what you need. So for me, having a backpack and a little more flexibility, a little bit easier time carrying my gear and having a little bit more gear and more weight, for me going to a backpack was definitely the way to go. So now I'm giving up the shoulder bag. And I also am kind of tweaking out some of my gear. As I said, I'm kind of changing pace here and going in a slightly different direction, so my daily needs are going to vary. That's the cool thing about EDC. EDC is very personalized. It's something that gives you the gear that you need at your fingertips pretty much at all times to perform in different ways to the best of your ability. Maybe your EDC covers a little bit of shit hit the fan. For me, not so much. It's really a little bit more of handyman special, having some of the tools and gadgets at my fingertips to allow me to perform some basic tasks in a way that maybe the people I'm with just simply can't. And that for me is in essence what my EDC is typically based on. And that's what I have here today. Now I have a ton to show you and a lot of discussion to be had, but before we get too far, do me a favor. Stay tuned. Now there's a whole bunch of gear here that I have purchased on my own and a whole bunch of gear that I have received to test and review. Now some of these items I've already tested them and already reviewed them, and I've been carrying them at length. That's just a testament to how great these products are and what they've really done for me on a daily basis. And these other products, you're going to take a look at them today. I'm trying to integrate these products into my EDC so that I use them for a long, prolonged period to get a really good understanding of how capable these items are. But we'll get into all that as things progress. For now, let's talk about the main topics of EDC, which for me are what I carry on my person and what I have in my bag. These items vary pretty significantly, and I think that would be the case for most of you as well. Now, EDC, again, kind of spans a wide variety of things. So I have some things here that aren't necessarily maybe traditional EDC, but it is what I might happen to have with me or carry with me every day. So some of these items are the obvious, very basics. For example, a cell phone. Yes, of course, I'm an Android guy. I have a Samsung smartphone here. This is the Galaxy S7, which I'm hoping will soon be upgraded. And a wallet. That's kind of a no-brainer. Here I have a beautiful Horween leather wallet from Popov Leather. This wallet has been in my pocket since the minute I got it. I absolutely love it, and to be honest with you, I don't have any reason to carry another one. Now, I have had other sort of EDC wallets that I've been carrying, but this one, for me, is the one. So, big suggestion to all of you, if you have not seen Popov Leather, I strongly suggest checking them out. And a little side note about Popov Leather, I like them so much, I actually been buying this stuff for my family and friends for Christmas, and they are in for a treat. Now, speaking of Popov Leather, and I will get into this in a little more detail later on, this is one of their EDC XLs. Now, they do have a couple of different EDC style pouches that you can carry gear. This is the EDC XL, which I asked for a couple of pen loops. The idea here being I have a regular pen and a Sharpie, which I use all the time, and then I can put this on my belt and have either a multi-tool, a large knife, a flashlight. There are a number of things that could go in this pouch, so having a nice little pouch on your hip is definitely sweet. Now, my keys. My keys have gone a couple of different ways, and most recently I've kind of changed things up a bit. So here I keep my truck keys kind of separate. To be honest with you, I don't use my truck all that often. But the one thing on here worth showing you is I do have this awesome little Olight. This is the I1R EOS, which is quite bright for its given size. Now, I do have a couple of these. So I also have one on my primary key set. Now, this is called a key back. This here is a retractable lanyard for my keys, which I have started using and very much like. Now, this for me made a lot more sense actually at my prior job. However, for any of you who have to keep your keys on you, I do strongly suggest one of these. It's actually pretty decent quality. I was a little bit skeptical at first. Feels a little bit cheap maybe from the very first impression. However, after having used this for quite a while now, I have to say it works excellent. And the overall strength of the retractable lanyard inside is quite strong. So if you look at how much stuff I have on here, it's still plenty strong to hold up the keys, and you can kind of clip it in place. So this thing has been sweet. Now again, on this keychain alone, I do have a number of gizmos. So first is, like I mentioned, that Olight I1R EOS, which is great to have on here. The next thing is I have a small retractable pen. You never know when you're going to need one of these, and this has been quite handy a number of times. Here I have some earplugs, which I use all the time. You never know when you're going to need earplugs. If you work around machinery, maybe even if you're mowing the lawn, things like that, going to a concert, loud music, you just have really annoying people that you work with. You never know why you would need earplugs, but I can tell you, once you have them, you're really thrilled that you have them, and these are nice quality. So I strongly suggest these. I believe the company name is Ruth's, and there's a number of different decibel reductions, so I got the one specifically for loud music. And finally, a Leatherman Micra, which I recently added to this, and I kind of like it. The main feature I use is the scissors. I usually have a pocket knife, so that usually is not a need for me to have all these other things on here, but the scissors are definitely handy. Now, if I needed a slightly smaller blade than my typical EDC blade, yeah, of course, this would work out well. But having something like this on my keychain, I have greatly enjoyed. Now, all of these I have clipped with this Night Eyes system, which I do also like. So I have these S-beaners, which are locking S-beaners, and I can just remove individual pieces if I want to use them. This has been a luxury, having sort of keychain management with little tools on here. I didn't think I'd like it for a long time. I felt it would be too bulky. I thought it would be a little heavy and weigh me down. It doesn't. I don't mind it at all. And if I'm careful, I carry this on my left side, and I am a righty, so typically on my right side, I'll have my knife and I'll have my flashlight. So I carry this on my left side, and it's easy for me still to extend this, use the keys, use the features on here with my right hand, do what I need to do, and then just let it come back, and then it goes right inside my pocket or dangles off my side. Now, another thing that for me is definitely EDC, without a doubt, is my pocket knife. So I've been carrying one of two blades. This is the Steel Will Gecko. I love this knife. Heavy, beautiful micarta handle scales, this really interesting maroon color, this nice D2 tool steel blade. Now, there are different models. This is the 1505. So you end up with that like kind of gray oxide finish, the D2 tool steel, the nice maroon liners, just a beautiful heavy duty and reasonably large blade. This does have one of the best pocket clips that I've ever used. It's just flawless. The way it goes in and out of your pocket just simply never lets go, is nice and strong and just a good overall clip. I like the shape. I like how smooth this entire knife is. All the shapes and the ergonomics and everything about this. If you don't have a Steel Will Gecko, I strongly suggest it. But more recently, my go-to has been this Buck 830 Inferno from SK Blades. This blade is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. If you haven't seen the Buck 830, I strongly suggest taking a look at it. It is a very unique blade. Overall, this is very thin. The blade stock is quite thin as well. However, it actually is reasonably stout when you get into it. S35 VN steel, a nice stonewash sort of finish here. This is actually G10 handle scales on this, which is really cool. The standard models are not this souped up. That's why you need to go see SK Blades. SK Blades has basically a contract with Buck to create unique patterns and unique designs that meet his specifications. So this is one of SK Blades' sort of feature designs. This is called the Inferno, and it is absolutely sick. Now a flashlight, again another essential EDC. You've already seen I maybe have one small flashlight on me with that little EOS flashlight from Olight. However, for my main and primary light, it definitely changes all the time. But currently I'm taking a look at this Sofirn light. This is a nice little pocketable light. This is the SC31, which is a USB rechargeable flashlight, which is kind of nice. So an 18650 battery has decent modes overall. It's not going to blow you away. I believe this goes up to about 600 lumens and is pretty good for general EDC tasks. Very simple in the overall modes. You simply press the light on and off to turn it on with a single click, and then to get into the different modes, if you were to turn it on and then long press, it would basically go between the different modes, which is very simple. So just 3 modes, low, medium, and high. The low mode is enough to do pretty much any sort of around close to you type of tasks, a little bit of throw. The medium is definitely suitable for most tasks, and the high gives you a little more oomph if you need it. One thing that is kind of cool you'll see here is that it has a little blue LED that lights up when the thing is running. It will turn off eventually, but it's just a little indication that the light is on and the battery status. So kind of nice little EDC flashlight from Sofirn Light. So now we're going to get into some of the weeds and the details, the things that you may say, well, that's not EDC, and I'm going to say, well, yeah, it is if you carry it every day. So things like, for example, a pair of sunglasses. These are the Oakley Triggerman. I have been wearing these for months and months and months. You've seen them on my face, review after review after review. I like them. They're lightweight. They're durable. These are polarized, which polarized is huge for me. I have these with me every day. I have light eyes. The sun bothers me. I do not go outside generally without a pair of sunglasses. It doesn't matter if it's a cloudy day. I still have sunglasses. I wear them when I drive every single time. I wear them when I'm outside with almost every type of task or duty or adventure. It doesn't matter. I have a good pair of sunglasses. Now what about a belt? A belt is kind of funny. You may call it more apparel. Well, for me, I kind of put it on the cusp. It is almost EDC. I rely on it every day. It helps to manage the rest of my system. So as this is kind of integrated into my system, it becomes more EDC. Now this is a KUIU climbing belt. I very much like this. I have used this belt exclusively since I got it. It's been probably 2 years now, and I've worn this every single day. It hasn't worn out. It's in excellent shape. It continues to perform. I generally like it. It's easy, it's small, it fits, it stays tight. So there's not really too much to complain about. Very simple. But that's one question I have for you. Is this considered EDC? And my hat. Hey, is it EDC? Hard to say. You may say, well, absolutely it is. It's part of your style. It's part of what makes you, you. Maybe it does have a function. It keeps the sun out of your eyes, or it keeps sweat from pouring down your face. Maybe it keeps dust and dirt and debris off of your head. Well, if it's something that you use every day, can't it be considered EDC? So for me, something like this hat, I don't necessarily use it every day in workplace, but I do use it every day to shoot my videos. And another borderline EDC item, what about water bottles? Now for me, when I go to work, I always bring a canteen full of water and a canteen full of coffee. I definitely need my coffee. I rely on these water bottles greatly. So here, just a Nalgene, which is really easy for my coffee, something I can just throw right back into the dishwasher, get it clean and ready for the next day. And here, my Yeti, which is a little bit nicer. I don't like putting coffee in these types of things because I feel like over time they do kind of get a taste to them and they get a little bit scuzzy, and it's certainly not something I would throw away. So again, just a fringe item that for me is kind of right on the cusp between sort of an, I don't know, luxury item or something that's not really considered EDC, but for me, I definitely do consider it to be an everyday carry item. And that leaves me pretty much at this point with the contents of my bag. So the EDC system extends into not only what you carry on your body, some of these weird fringe types of items, but definitely without a doubt the backpack. And here I have the Helikon Tex Raider. This backpack is one that actually, quite honestly, I got my hands on today. Packed this thing up and I'm already like, yes, this absolutely rocks.